How's everyone doing? Today we want to talk about Capcom. Capcom in Saudi Arabia. They're being bought out by none other than the Electronic Gaming Development Company, which is a subsidiary of the PIF, which is partly owned by the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, often referred to as MBS. Now they're buying 5% or 5.03% stake in Capcom to be precise, adding on top of their already 5% purchase of the company back in 2022. So now they own just over 10%. It's a move that people are worried about in the West because they always accuse Saudi Arabia whenever they make investments of sports washing or whitewashing or whatever you want to call it, game washing. But obviously, that's not the case because it's just a smart move to make. So I don't know why people always accuse Saudi Arabia of nefarious things when they make good business decisions. I think it's just the fact that it's the country that does things that they don't like. So obviously, people are going to be upset about that. But it's a good business decision, all things considered. And will they take over all of Capcom? Phew. Wow. Yeah, that might be on the cards. People don't want to think about it, but they did invest in SNK before, which was the company behind the King of Fighter series, and I think it was like in late 2020, and they secured about 29% stake. But then from 2022, they just went on to increase it, and I think they are now the parent company of SNK. They own it completely, 100% of it. So I don't think it'll be the same thing for Capcom. Capcom are riding a new wave. They're riding high with Resident Evil Requiem and all of that jazz. So they're doing all right. You know what I mean? Uh, they're in no position to need a savior, unlike some other gaming companies. And just a side note, I think it would be amazing if a company came in and saved, like, say, Ubisoft, right? Like, obviously, I wish Ubisoft would get it together and stand tall. It was one of the major companies like EA or Bethesda, but Bethesda gets bought out by Microsoft. Not everyone was happy about that, but that did happen, and yeah, they're still Bethesda, uh, whatever that means now, and freaking EA might be bought out by Saudi Arabia's PIF owned electronic gaming development company. So, but at the same time, it probably will be for the best since EA was notoriously known for being the worst company in America. So, period, because of all their whateverness. So, yeah, that is something that is happening. Personally, what I think it's just a smart business decision. Like Saudi Arabia's been making all kinds of business decisions recently. Like they've been investing heavily in entertainment, like heavily. Apparently, they agreed to acquire Pokemon Go and the entire video game business for like 3.5 billion back in the days. I think it was like 2023. Like the PIF has been moving in in the entertainment space, particularly in video games, because the Crown Prince is a big gamer. If anyone caught his interview with Fox News, he mentions the fact that he is a big gamer. He loves video games. And so it makes sense, especially now as video games are growing in demand more and more and more, to invest in it. It's just a smart business decision. But of course, they've been doing a lot of decisions. Some of it is to improve their image as a country. And I think it's fine, man. Like, everyone always brings up human rights, but no one has a problem with American products. You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of hypocritical. And not every game company is an American company. A lot of them are Japanese, some of them are European. So, anyway, that's neither here nor there. Sorry about that. Yeah, in other news, Nvidia is catching a lot of slop, not a lot of slop, but catching a lot of flack for its slop, the slop that it is trying to produce on top of, trying to generate on top of produced work. Yeah, the DLSS 5 is receiving a lot of controversy because Because it's the GPT moment for graphics, let's say. And if anyone knows anything about GPT, it's not all sunshines and rainbow. So the DLSS debuted back in 2018 with the RTX 2080, and it was initially just the deep learning super sampling that it was named after. The idea was to take a game, render it at the lower resolution, and then upscale it using AI back to your native resolution. DLSS has evolved a lot in the years since, including features like frame generation, reflex, and now an AI model that injects new lighting and materials to make the scene more photorealistic. And it does make the scene more photorealistic. That is true, but it also, in my opinion, what I think, it gives the character a kind of sheen, an AI sheen that is just unoriginal. It does scream slop, AI slop, and I know people don't like that term as much. People are like, oh, you know, anything back in the day would have been slop if you think about it. All these videos coming out on YouTube or whatever, it's all slop or whatever. But that's the term given to it when it's just whatever, and it is kind of a whatever thing. The characters don't look the same, and they do kind of have the sheen to them. So all of that considered, it is kind of a tampering with the creative vision the artists have had for the game, you know? But I do think it will be amazing for background stuff. You know what I mean? Like, background is static, it doesn't really move. It's buildings, it's whatever, boxes. I think it would be good for that. But for the characters, yeah, no, it does take away from the creative spirit, unfortunately, from the artistic work at the moment. At the moment, things can obviously improve. AI is not there yet. It's not at the promised land yet. We can see that it's further along the road, but it might lose its way and end up as who was it? Dan Hauser mentioning that it might turn into a mad cow thing where it just starts circling and getting lost in the sauce of its own creation because it's now eating its own works, you know? So that is something to consider. But everyone thinks the promised land will be achieved. They're saying 2027 at the earliest, and everyone is saying it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. That's why they're pumping everything into AI, what people consider to be the final innovation man will create. So, and final technology. So yeah. Personally, I don't. Mm, Personally, I think it'd be good for games like FIFA. You know, I think FIFA would enjoy having DLSS placed on top of it, like Fortnite, these kind of games. But when it comes to like story games where there's a character and it matters and you interact, yada yada, it's not there yet, and nothing that I saw from its trailer swayed me to thinking that it will be. Yeah, so it's promising, sure, but it's just not there yet, and the trailer couldn't change my mind about that. But I think for background will be amazing. Like the backgrounds really pop. Like they really look photorealistic. Actually, I don't think people have commented about it as much. Like it looks great, man. But for the characters, yeah, no, it gets the sheen where it's like, ugh, what is this, man? Like it's just an AI sheen. Like I can create this, just typing something, just type a prompt and it'll just whatever. So like, yeah, no, it's not there yet, but it does seem promising, and I don't think that this one will be it. Hope well, 6 months is a long time in the AI world. It's a long, long time. Like it's coming out in the fall apparently, fall of this year. So it is a long time. It's still a ways away, but from everything we've seen, it's whew, mm, mm-mm, mm-mm, AI slop. Yeah, unfortunately for the characters especially, But for games like FIFA, like I think it'll be fine. No one's really focusing on the characters and make it more photorealistic as long as the gameplay is the same and stuff. I think it'll be fine. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it, and I'm really looking forward to everything that's happening. Because it is a case of like AI is eating itself at the moment. AI is literally eating itself, and who knows where it's going to lead us to. It might have a come to Jesus moment where all of a sudden it just You know, that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like on the cards. Like that might be what happens, and that's what everyone in the AI space is hoping for. That it just doesn't, because they can't figure it out themselves. They're up, they're down, they're this, they're that, they're everywhere at the moment, and they're just trying to say that it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, and we have progressed, but it's just not there. It's just not there, and everyone is saying it's there, as in like it's coming there right now. Excuse me. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thank you for tuning in. See you at the next one.